Hi, I'm Mark Richmond from Chef Knives to Go. Today I'm looking at a knife, a petty knife called, made by a guy named Ogata. And Ogata-san is a blacksmith. He works for another one of our blacksmiths named Shiro Kamo. And Ogata is an apprentice. He's been working for a long time for Kamo. And this is a knife that he makes basically after work. At the factory, and they do long hours, so we get them slowly, and they're really quite nice. He's got good skill with grinds, and the pattern Damascus cladding on this one is real nice. So let me just give you a couple specs on this. The knife is white number 2 on the edge. That's a carbon steel knife. It's reactive. The cladding, I call it a lightning Damascus because it kind of looks like lightning streaks in the sky. I made that up, so that's not the real name for it. It's a Kurouchi finish. Kurouchi, K-U-R-O-U-C-H-I. K-U-R-O means black. It's black finish or blacksmith finish. And it's supposed to look rough and ready, and they do this to it's attractive to some people. Also it makes it a little easier for them to do the finishing. The engraving here is hand engraved. A lot of the Echizen guys, which is where he is from, are switching to laser engraving, and I expect that they will do that in the future on these, but for now there's a guy in town that does most of the engraving work for all the guys, and this one's hand engraved. Originally we got these with rosewood oval handles, but they switched them to rosewood octagonal handles recently, and this one has a rosewood octagonal. The ferrule is black Pakka wood. Pakka wood is a kind of a composite material. It's kind of like they take basically scraps and they layer them all in. They dye it black, and it kind of resembles the black buffalo horn, but it's more stable. So just to give you a quick rundown on the specs, this one is 152 millimeters from the end to the end, or the tip to the heel. And it's 34 millimeters from the base here to the top of the spine. You have to remember that your knife might vary a little bit from this one. They're handmade, so they can vary just a little bit from knife to knife. Weight on this knife is 2.6 ounces, and the edge grind is even, more or less. They grind it on one side, and then they flip it over and they grind the other side. Both sides are convexed. Sometimes it'll be a little asymmetric, but that's usually just because they spend a little bit more time on one side inadvertently than the other. But if you're left-handed or right-handed, it'll work for you either way. And you can sharpen these knives evenly on both sides with the same amount of strokes if you really want to get carried away with it. Okay, last thing I wanted to tell you about is as far as the Damascus cladding, you'll see reactivity along the edge here. It won't be, it'll start to turn dark grayish black, and it'll give you a nice contrast, but you definitely want to wipe this off after you use it and wash it. If you let it drip dry, you might get some spotting on here and some rust. If you get any rust on it, just clean it again with some powdered cleanser, and that should take care of it. So anyways, all in all, a cool knife. This is the Ogata white number 2 petty 150 millimeter. I'm Mark Richmond. Stay sharp.